Of that partnership, define what makes a good defensive partnership? How?
Being steady, knowing exactly what you're going to get from the pair of them on a consistent basis, and breeding confidence into the rest of the team, where you know you've got two steady eddies at the back who are going to dominate, win the headers, win the challenges, and give the players a solid base to build from in terms of going forward.
Yeah, there has to be an understanding. They know instinctively who's going to attack the first ball, who's going to slip in behind to cover, and it's a real mental understanding of each other's games, but also knowing what each other are capable of. How much pace he's got, so I need to drop off a certain distance. Is he good in the air? Yes, he can go and meet that ball. It's having a complete understanding of each other's game, and an understanding of a bit telepathic at times.
Because I do like this defensive partnership. There have been some really good ones in the Premier League. You think at Chelsea, Terry and Carvalho, for example, fantastic. I mean, they conceded, I think, 15 goals during Mourinho's title-winning season during his first stint. You think of Bruce and Pallister. You think of Ferdinand and Vidic. Could we potentially see us saying the same thing about Lindelof and Maguire if they achieve success?
They've got the makings of it. And in all of those partnerships you've just mentioned, there's always one dominant one that tends to go and put his foot in, win the ball, and there's always one that just suddenly will sweep a little bit behind, will expect the danger, and, out of all of them, they've all got it. Maguire likes to go and be the dominant one. Lindelof sort of sweeps up behind him, and I do think that potentially they do have the makings of becoming a good centre-half pair.
The only way a centre defensive partnership is going to improve, though, is by playing regular together, so they can learn off one another. I mean, in training, you can obviously do bits and pieces, but to know exactly what a partner's all about and what his strengths and weaknesses are is by playing together and knowing each other's game. And the more they play with one another, the better they'll get.
What were you? Were you the one that would step out a bit more, be the more aggressive one, and the other one would be...
It honestly depends who you're playing with. I mean, I'd like to think I was the one. I wasn't the biggest, so I had to use my mouth. And when I played alongside Harry and all the rest of it, I had to make sure he was in the right position to get me out of trouble, really, if he needed to take on a big centre forward or whatever. So I think your communication between you and your partner, whoever you're playing alongside, is massive.
Robertson was quite vocal as well there, wasn't he?
And he could do my running as well.
How old were you there?
Old enough.
Old enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was about 30, 31 when I played with them at Hull, so yeah, they've both gone on and done unbelievable things, so fair play to them.
Absolutely. And your dad, do you think he was the more aggressive one generally, or was he the more...
He would say he was the vocal one, and Pally was the natural defender, where he had the legs and the athleticism to get around and chase people into the channel and what have you. He was the more one who was naturally gifted, but I think everyone knows my dad was very determined, communicator who organised the back four very well.
Yeah, great memories of him, of course, I'm sure for you as well.
Well, it's right in my time of growing up watching football, and that was a very impressive team that they were part of, a very well organised defence, and as he said, I felt that his dad was the aggressive one that tended to go and win things, and Pallister sort of swept up, just as I was discussing with before. And you look at, say, Liverpool now, everyone says they're impressive defensively. Van Dijk goes and dominates, and Gomez will tend to sweep up. There's always one in the partnership that does that.
All right, we'll end the Steve Bruce tribute show right here, because I'm sure you're absolutely sick of talking about him. You can't go a day without mentioning Steve Bruce.